Hello and welcome back to Sacred Stone's 0% Growths. We are off to Chapter 11, which is the best kind of map, a Fog of War route map. Although it's actually not as bad as I had feared it was going to be. It is certainly no Radiant Dawn Chapter 4-1, which I had the pleasure of making 6 attempts at in my recent Radiant Dawn Let's Play. Anyway, so, yeah, as you can see, Fog of War chapter, it is a route map. You've got La Rochelle and Dozla over here. You've got 3 treasure chests, and then the enemies are all monsters. So, before we get to anything else, we should talk about our 3 new units. So we have Innis, Garrick, and Tethys. So I'll start with Tethys. She's the easiest to talk about. She's good. She's good in regular Sacred Stones, and she's good in 0% Growths because she's a dancer, and dancers are good. The only other thing to really say about Tethys is that her bases are actually surprisingly good for her level in class. I don't know if that's related to the fact that dancers don't have a promotion, but the fact that she has 12 speed and 10 luck makes her actually pretty dodgy. 18 HP is nothing special, but 5 defense and 4 resistance is better than some people on my roster, and it means she generally isn't getting one shot. So that's nice. Yeah, she's really, really good. Probably definitely top 5, possibly 3rd or 4th best character on my roster right now. Then we have Innis, so let's take a look at the unit list here so we can get like a little bit of stat comparison going. So, as you can see, Innis compares quite well to Seth statistically. Seth is a little bit better, but especially in strength and defense, but has also gotten some stat boosters. I know I gave him a Dragon Shield. I'm not sure if I gave him an energy drop. I probably did. So, yeah, Innis, quite strong bases. In Vanilla Sacred Stones, of course, just by virtue of being a sniper, his class definitely holds him back. You know, he doesn't have much of an enemy phase to speak of. And so, while he's definitely the best, statistically, the best sniper that you can use in Sacred Stones, he is still not, somebody that you would field frequently if you were trying to play it as efficiently as possible. But in this context, first of all, his stats are just so much better than most of the other characters that I have access to that it means that he can kill enemies faster even if he isn't counterattacking on enemy phase, because he can actually kill things in one round on player phase that some units would struggle to kill across multiple player and enemy phases, or would need lots of healing to be able to deal with. And also, specifically on this map at least, there is significant utility to using him because there are some enemies, you can't see them here in the fog. Maybe you could if I put calm here or something, but there are some enemies in here that you can shoot with a longbow that otherwise take a really long time to get to, because you either have to go all the way around here, all the way up here, or you have to go down this thing, which is clogged with enough enemies that it's pretty slow going, and then come up here and then use a door key to open this door. So we can take care of those enemies a lot faster if we use Innis. But I think even after that, I suspect I'll be fielding him a lot, because he does definitely have a lot to offer. I mean, if you just look through, most units aren't hitting double digits in most of their stats, and then you come up here and you have these couple of units who are hitting double digits with pretty much everything. So that is definitely a big difference. And then we've got Garrick. So Garrick needs to promote. He comes with his own hero crest, so we're just going to do that before we talk in detail about him. Now you might think, oh, Garrick, you can promote to a ranger. That's a mounted class, and it has more movement. And with how quickly I picked paladin over Great Knight, I surely want ranger, right? No, I want hand axes. Hand axes are super useful. Allows 1 to 2 ranged attacks on enemy phase. Ranger doesn't have access to a weapon that has that property. It's either 1 range locked or 2 range locked. And there's only a 1 move difference between the 2 classes anyway. So hero it is. So this is a particularly nice promotion because not only does Garrick gain access to hand axes, he also gets 2 speed and 2 constitution. And generally, those are just really nice promotion bonuses compared to some of the others that you'll see in the game. And that 15 con means that he can wield weapons like the steel blade, the steel axe, the halberd, and the hammer without being slowed down, which is fantastic. Get him an elixir. He's going to be frontlining quite a bit in this chapter. And then, yeah, I guess going back to talking about him overall. So now that he's promoted, you can see Garrick also very competitive stat line with Seth and Innes. He's a little bit faster than Seth, a little bit less strength, but I think that is because of an energy drop. Not sure. A little bit less defense and resistance too, more HP. So he's approximately as durable, less mobile. Hand axes are generally better than javelins. Obviously, it depends on the enemy type. So overall, I would say, Garrick might have the slight combat edge over Seth. Certainly, if he needs to use heavy weapons, he will, because he has 4 more con than Seth, so even though he only has 1 more speed, he can turn that extra speed into extra attack power as well, while maintaining the ability to double. But Seth's mobility definitely gives him an edge overall, and I would still say that Seth is the best character that I have, but it's pretty close, and Garrick is definitely number 2. And in vanilla, Garrick is also very good. His bases are just really good, and Hero's a really nice class. He's not the best unit in the game, but he's definitely a strong unit. So now we need to pick our units, and we are going to want to bring all 3 of these, because they're all good. So who are we going to bench? We're going to bench Joshua, Franz, and Vanessa. So why those 3? So the reason is because if we look at the map, again, we're going to be sending a force around this way, as I mentioned. We're also going to be sending a force down this way. The force going to the right obviously needs more mobility than the force going down here. So the force going down here is basically Garrick, with a little help from perhaps Artur or Innes. Innes is going to be focusing on clearing out the enemies in this room, and then there are also some reinforcements that show up here, and so he's either going to be helping clear out those or helping Garrick out down here, depending on exactly how things go. Artur may go with Garrick to help him out and speed that along if Innes is busy still taking these guys out. And then Garcia and Kyle are going to be hanging out back here to also clear out these waves of reinforcements that show up. Meanwhile, Seth, Tana, and Ford, there you are, as well as Tethys are going to be making their way around this way. Actually, well, I should say, I guess that so is Erica, so are Erica and Mulder. Mulder's got the torch staff, so he's going to be lighting the way, and Erica is going to be the recipient of chest keys that get sent to the convoy so that she can open a couple chests, as well as go talk to La Rochelle and Dozla, and talking to them is actually potentially relevant. The reason being there is an enemy Revenant here who has very high HP. Innes can shoot and potentially weaken, and then depending on how things line up, if we can talk to Dozla and put him in range, we can enemy phase finish that guy off. And in my test runs, that has potentially made the difference between finishing in 7 turns versus 8 turns, and on the 8th turn there's some reinforcements that spawn up in this corner. Yeah, so right, so the point being that we want a highly mobile force going this way, but we don't have a lot of need for just pure rescue dropping. It's mostly that we just want good combat units moving around here, and the best mobile combat units that we have are Seth, Tana, and Ford. And then, Franz and Vanessa are more just transport units right now. And then the reason I'm benching Joshua is simply because Joshua's already level 10. Garcia and Kyle are not. I could very easily use Joshua to clear out reinforcements here. In fact, I have done in some of my test runs. But it occurred to me that the revenants that spawn in over here are so slow that any of the two of those three of Kyle, Garcia, and Joshua can double. So it doesn't really matter which one we deploy. So Joshua is not like perma bench or anything. It's just he's already ready to promote. We don't have a promotion item for him. Same is true of Garcia and Kyle, except that they're only level 9, so they're not quite ready to promote. So we'll just go ahead and get them that last bit of experience. Anyway, all right, time to set the formation. Oh, I believe... Let's see, yeah, I did not... The one thing I did not get correct with my items is I need to have somebody take a torch, which is going to be Artur. And then, let's see, Garcia has an elixir, Kyle has a vulnerary, that's all fine. Yeah, okay. Because we're going to need to use the torch to light this room up so that Innes can shoot things. Alright, so... I think that's good. I think we're ready to go. Alright, so we're first going to have Mulder come over here and torch this area, revealing a whole mess of enemies. Seth is going to come over and start working on clearing them out. So we got a couple guys with swords and a guy with a lance. You can take out the guy with the lance because he can do a little bit more damage to Ford and Tana, and we don't like taking damage. And then we're going to have Tana and Ford chip down this guy here. He's not going to die, but he will die on enemy phase, which is good enough. No damage taken, very nice. Alright, next, we're going to have Artur come down here and use the torch. Alright, so we can see here there's a couple of enemies. So there's these guys over here, who we're going to let Garrick take care of. And then there's this guy here with a poison bow. Garrick can kill this guy on enemy phase with a hand axe, but I would rather not take the poison damage. So we're going to have Innes take care of him. The longbow, and then these two, you know, this is the beefy guy I mentioned, and then we got this guy. So let's put Garrick over here with an iron sword. Actually, I want to double check that he does in fact one round with that. So 19 and 19 is enough, and 18 and 18 is enough. Yeah. All right, Erica, and come over here. And then we've got Garcia and Kyle are just going to hang out in this vicinity. Kill for Tana, which is nice. Unfortunately, I don't have an Elysian Whip, but she will get to level 10 here. I mentioned talking to Duzla and to Larshell. So there are some skeletons that, as you can see, will come in and attack Duzla, but I've never seen them remotely come under threat. So while there is, from an LTC standpoint, a rush to kill all the enemies, there's not per se a rush to get to them for their own safety, though as I said, you can potentially make use of Dulcela to help finish this guy off faster, depending on how things go. Alright, so Garrick is going to come down and get this guy. I just want to make sure this guy has 1 defense and only 34 HP. Okay. Okay, he actually isn't finishing this guy off in 1 round. However, it doesn't really matter because A, we can chip him with Archer, and B, he'd finish him off in enemy phase if we weren't going to do that anyway. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and have Innis get the first damage on this guy. Alright, now over here, we want to see how is Tana doing against these guys. Pretty good. Pretty good. Ford probably does not double either one of them. No. So, but that's fine. Tana will do enough damage to finish them off. So, or well, actually, let me double check on that. Alright, so 16, so she needs 11 damage, which is how much this Killing Edge does. So yeah, let's oh, actually, no. Let's go ahead and have Ford do this first. Make sure that we land that blow. Okay, so now Seth is going to come up and hit this guy. And what we want here is for Seth to be the one counter-attacking this thing. So these guys are super fast and hard to hit as a consequence. Seth can one-round them, or one-hit kill them, rather, with the Silver Lance, but I only have 8 charges left with that, so I want to be judicious with it. You can also potentially crit them with the Killer Lance, which is why I'm carrying that, but it's not super important that this guy go down in 1 hit, because Tana and Ford can clean him up. However, they don't really want to, like, they don't really want to be defending against a full health one, because this guy will double Ford all the time, and will double Tana if she's wielding anything with the Slim Lance. Alright, does she finish with that? Nope. Nice. Good dodge. Alright, no damage taken except on Seth, so Mulder can just come over here and torch again. And also probably should have traded Seth a different weapon. I mean, Ford. Oops. Alright, these two are just gonna hang out. Matter. He's not going to attack Ford anyway. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't actually account for that possibility. I don't know that that would have killed Tana. Oh, I forgot to give her. I have a dragon shield and a angelic robe, and I forgot to give those to Tana, which I had intended to. Yeah, which would have increased her durability to the point where this wouldn't have been a threat. Oh well. In general, it's not like critical to the run. It's just like a safety net. But yeah, I still should have done it. Okay, so let's see how this looks. Probably want to do that. Actually, let's do... Yeah, this'll be fine. So we're gonna have Seth come all the way around here, javelin this guy, and then he's gonna end up enemy phasing most of these guys around here, most importantly including these two eyeballs, who are pretty threatening to some of the other characters. I'm trying to get Tethys as far forward as I can, so I'm just gonna go ahead and have her right up there, which is fine, because even if that had missed, Ford still would have been able to come in and take a swing too. And the Tethys actually wouldn't get doubled by that guy. Alright, and then we do have the option of letting Ford enemy phase that guy, but I don't think we want to. We just want to have Seth kill him, so I won't do that. Okay, so now Archer can drop back. But before you do that, well, okay, so let me think here. So down here is the boss. The boss has a sword and does not get doubled by Garrick and is fairly dodgy. So we want Garrick not to be equipped with a hand axe like we might otherwise want, because there's also a guy with an iron bow. So basically the question is, do we want to send Innes around now and rely on sweeping around here, getting to Dozla and having him kill this guy, or do we want to have Innes stay here, kill this guy for sure, and potentially send Archer with Garrick to help out with that? And I think I'm going to go with the former option. Not least because, well, I mean, Innes will have to take this guy out too. So... just gonna have Garrick come down here and continue to equip the Iron Sword. Hopefully he'll be able to put some damage on the boss. This is not the boss. This is just another guy with an Iron Sword that Garrick will kill. Alright, so we got those two just hanging out, waiting for the reinforcements. There's the first of those chest keys I mentioned. Nice. Get enough of that and you get accuracy boost. Alright. There's the guy with the bow that I mentioned. So, unfortunately, Innes can't actually help out with this turn. But, yeah, so basically, if we look at this guy here, if Garrick uses the Steel Blade, he's only got 72% chance to hit, which is not amazing. And then, of course, if he has a hand axe, it's quite low. Now, it is enough for him to take out this guy, but, I think what we want to do is, let's see. So Kyle with the steel lance actually doesn't double this one, does double this one. Only takes 6 damage from the other one, which is not a ton. So you can certainly deal with that. So I'm thinking I have Archer come down, use the torch again. That allows Innes to come down and see and shoot this guy, who he sadly does not want around, which is pretty annoying. And then Garrick... see. There's some risk of him dying if he attacks here. If I do land the hit with the Steel Blade, then I can finish the boss on enemy phase. So I think I'm gonna go for that, and then if he misses, I can have Innis try to help out. Though Innis isn't by any means guaranteed to hit him either, unfortunately. But let's just go ahead and heal up with this elixir, and then have. Kyle kill this one or this one. That's pretty similar either way. Well, I guess what we want is for Garcia to kill the one that Kyle doesn't double. So we'll do that. Get to level 10. Now there's another wave of 3 that'll come in next turn as well. Meanwhile, here we want to heal up Seth. And we want to... Let's see. I'll go ahead and torch here in case I do have to deal with those reinforcements. Hopefully I won't, but this will keep vision long enough that I'll be able to see them if that does come up. And then dance for Mulder. And come and heal Seth. And then we're going to have Seth come down here. So, actually, wait. Yeah, this is what we're going to do. He's going to come down here, kill this guy with the Silver Lance. And then Ford. Let's see. We can probably set up a rescue drop of Erica. So we rescue... Oh, maybe we can't because Tana can only move 7. Yeah, what I want to do is trade Seth the Killer Lance. Yeah, Eric ultimately doesn't get any further by being rescue dropped anyway, so it's fine. So the reason I want the Killer Lance here is because not only do I want to kill this guy, who I could kill with the Silver Lance, but this guy will not get doubled and has a lot of defense, so he won't die to the Silver Lance. And there's another one in the fog as well, who can potentially cause trouble. So, and then this guy, we can potentially set him up to be attacked by Tana, which is fine. It'll save charges on the Killer Lance, which I don't have another one of, so I don't mind that. And Kyle is ready to promote. If only I had more promotion items that are relevant. I do have another guiding ring, in addition to the one that Archer's carrying, but sadly that's not what I need. I also have a Ocean Seal, which is also not what I need. Meanwhile, Seth, getting the crit. Good stuff. No, not that one. Got him. Excellent. Okay. And got another one. Excellent. Alright, we are in business here. We are in business. So, now we have Garrick hit this guy with a hand axe. And then we come have Innis finish off the boss, which will free Garrick to come around the corner next turn. And actually, I probably should have traded the Vulnerate to Garrick so he could heal a little bit, but it probably won't matter. The enemies down here aren't very strong. Meanwhile, I'm gonna have Archer come up and try to crit this guy, and probably fail. Yeah, that's fine. So Kyle can finish that guy off without being at threat of dying. Alright, we'll just have Garcia... Well, actually, he might as well use the Killer Axe, as it should increase his... Well, it's very minor. But we'll do it. Increases avoid is what I was trying to say, and failing. I guess might as well do it this way. Down to one of these guys. So that's all good. And then over here, we want to finish off this guy. Ideally not with Seth. Just a little bit short. That's okay. So there are a whole batch of enemies down here. One of whom has a door key. And one of whom is a really tough promoted version of these guys. He's like a Death Goyle. I think these guys are gargoyles, yeah. So we want... Seth is really the only one who can deal any significant damage to him. Well, Innis could, but Innis is all the way over here. Garrick could. Garrick's all the way over here. And I don't think it would make any sense to bring them all the way around just to deal with that one guy. So we want Seth over here. With the Killer Lance equipped again. And we can't get Tethys into range to dance for Seth while attacking this guy. So we need to take this guy out with not Seth, which I think is going to mean that Tana finishes this guy, then comes over and does the last little chip damage to this guy after Ford kills him, or hits him with the Lance Reaver. So I'm going to put Seth here. Based on the previous experience, I believe that's the best spot for him. A torch would make that more clear, but I want to heal Tana. Let's see. Yeah. Alright, 84 is better. I think that's level 10? Yep. Alright, meanwhile, let's check the turns. It's turn 5. We got a couple more turns before these reinforcements show up. Let's get out that chest key. Get a secret book. There's the guy with the key that I mentioned. Now he should be attacked by a couple of gargoyles as well as the Death Goyle. Hopefully Seth just crits everyone's face off like he's doing so far. Okay. He did not crit the boss, which was the most important crit he could have gotten, sadly. Oh, right. And this is fun. So Laura Rochelle comes over and heals Seth, which actually makes it easier to talk to her, which is really nice. Okay, so we can definitely kill the boss with Seth even without a crit in 2 rounds, but maybe not if we have to use a javelin. Well, let's see, 9 and... Yeah, that is enough. We can also potentially have Ford come down and use the Lance Reaver. Oh, that doesn't do a whole heck of a lot, does it? Yeah, like this guy is really tough. He's got 13 defense. Well, in the meantime, I'm gonna have Garrick come over here, park here with the hand axe. There's a bunch of enemies that he'll enemy phase. He doesn't really need to do it that quickly. I have Archer get the finishing blow here, so he can promote. And let's see, doesn't really matter which way I go. There are no more reinforcements, I know that much, but trade for the torch. And Innes is going to come back up this way. Snipe that guy. So I don't think we actually need to use Dosla, because, let's see, it's turn 6. Oh, maybe we do. Maybe, actually, yeah, I think it's possible that what I should have done is done like a rescue drop with Kyle to bring Innes up here and into range to hit this guy, and then like let Archer not bother to get the kill or something. I don't know. I mean, I think it'll be fine, but okay. So the unfortunate thing is that this guy is still gonna be hanging around to shoot at Tana. I don't know if there's a whole lot I can really do about that. Yeah. Actually, can Erica from here? 2, 3, 4. Yeah, she can. Okay, she can talk to Larashel from there. So, unless Larashel runs away, which I haven't actually seen happen in my test run, so hopefully that doesn't happen. All right, so forward. Alright, I guess we'll just do this. Oh, shnikes. Let's see. I think the maximum, yeah, 4 damage, 1 damage. They don't do a lot of damage unless to this guy unless Ford's using the Lance Reaver. So maybe, yeah, the sword's not super likely to get hit, but if he does, I'm gonna probably want to heal him. Although the rest of these guys aren't very likely to do much to him either. But yeah, let's make sure we get this kill. Do we want to do that with the Silver Lance or the Killer Lance? So I guess we want to do it with Silver Lance because it's got higher hit rate. Alright, and then we don't really need Seth to crit things this turn, so I'm just going to trade in the Iron Lance. And I'm not going to have Tana attack because I just need to minimize the amount of damage she ends up taking. Larashel does run away. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We should be able to get to her with a dance anyway, so it's probably fine. I guess we'll trade Javelin if somehow that archer comes up and attacks forward instead. I don't really see how that would happen, but whatever. Still gonna torch over here, even though it probably doesn't really matter. We got left Garcia. Not really much for him to do. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot that that guy could run away. Hopefully that's not a big problem. Ow. Oh. Is that going to take her out of range of being able to talk to Duzlet? God damn it! Okay. Well, was I ever going to be able to finish on this turn anyway? I'm not actually sure. But I think I might have. If she hadn't run away like that. Okay, so I know that there's another, that other guy down here. I guess we'll have Garrick just run over this way. He might intercept him coming around. Oh, we can promote Archer. So, Archer has the choice between Bishop and Sage. The difference being Sages get access to anima magic, and Bishops have the Slayer skill, which makes them do bonus damage against monsters. The statistical differences between the two classes are extremely small. As I recall, Bishop gets like 1 extra magic, which helps offset the might difference between anima and light magic, and I want to say Bishops might get an extra point of defense, and Sages might get like an extra point of like resistance or something, but it's all very small. So I think Slayer is worth taking, so I'm gonna go with Bishop. Unfortunately, as you'll see in a second here, compared to Garrick's promotion, the promotion bonuses are much worse for this. So you get no speed, and well, really, that's all that you need for it to be terrible. I think he got 1 con. Yeah, he got 1 con rather than 2 con like Garrick. He got 3 of something, but it might have been HP. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty underwhelming. So let's see here. Tana can certainly finish off this guy. Nice. Oh, we can dance for Lurachelle. Why didn't I think of that? Okay. So if we can enemy phase the guy out here, which I don't know that he will let himself be so treated, but maybe. Oh, but this guy... Alright, what I'm gonna do is bring Mulder over here and torch again, because I want to see that guy and know exactly where he is. Okay, so he's a lot closer than I realized. Oh ho! Alright, so we got our other chest key. I don't know that we're going to be able to use it. For the record, the items in these chests are... This is a short spear, and this is a restore. Missing a restore staff, not a big deal at all. Missing a short spear, I would like to have it, but not the end of the world either. Okay, so we can... Actually, but what we... No, I don't think there's any way... Aha! Yes, the music changed. So, yes, this is indeed the only enemy left. So I don't think there's any way... We can have Laurashell pull the key out of the convoy. The problem is that she can't open the chest and talk to Duzla. So, I don't think there's any reason to worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and have her torch for XP, because there's very little downside to it, and there's a little bit of upside. Oh, actually... before I proceed, let's talk about Laurashell as a unit. Oh, what I should have had her do was pull an axe out of the convoy, because Duzla's battle axe doesn't have the greatest of hit rates. So hopefully that doesn't screw me over. Anyway, so Laurashell, obviously, as a troubadour, having a mount is nice for a healer. She has 6 magic. Which is a little bit more than Molder's, so, you know, her bases are better than Molder's, basically across the board. Of course, normally, you know, by now you'd have trained Molder enough that that wouldn't be the case, so you'd have to decide, okay, do I want the, you know, mount utility, or do I want the better, you know, stat line? But in this case, because of 0% growth, like, you know, you might as well just use her, unless you're really concerned about promotion, because Molder is closer to promotion, though not close enough that I feel like it really matters too much. So yeah, I mean, I'll probably be using her. I mean, she only has a D rank in staves, and Molder has a B, so that may come up at some point, but I'm not really sure. And then let's go talk to Duzla. So Duzla is a level 1 Berserker, so he's pre-promoted. In Vanilla, he's pretty weak for his level. That's not to necessarily say he's bad. I mean, he's not... Like, I don't know... I assume that you expect to have more units, like strong promoted units by this point than I have, just because... you know, it's easier to give XP to a unit that's getting better already. So, like, you might have promoted Franz instead of Ford, that sort of thing. Then again, you don't have that many promotion items, so there's kind of a limit to that. But in any case, he has 9 speed, which is pretty poor for a promoted unit. He does have a lot of strength, obviously, and a lot of con, so he can deal a lot of damage, but he does... and he's a pretty good tank with the high HP and high defense, but he does struggle to double and keep up in that respect with most characters under, you know, normal growths. But here, like, Ford only has 9 speed. I mean, Duzla certainly gets outsped by Garrick, by Seth, by Innes, and then by Joshua and Tana. So, you know, that matters. But he has like competitive speed, and he has like so much of an advantage in some other areas. Like he's gonna deal more damage a lot of the time in 1 hit than Tana is in 2, for example. So I imagine I'll be using him more than one would in vanilla. Anyway, so come over here and just wait with you. And finish the chapter in, I believe that was 7 turns. Alright. Well, I almost screwed that up, but didn't quite, so hooray. And then for whatever reason, this chapter is does not allow you to go back to the map. So we will stop right here for next time, and I'll see you then, next time I will see you for Chapter 12. Till then.